Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are on lecture 3, and I hope you will enjoy this. So, what is happening is that we are going to continue from where we stopped last time, but the objective of today's lecture is to be able to derive AA and DD curves. So if we can end up with AA and DD curves, then I will be happy, because it means that we would have achieved the objective of today, right? So we start by drawing the rotated money market, and this is the return, which is interest rate in terms of South Africa, and then this is the M, which is the money or quantity of money, and then this is real money supply, and then this is real money demand, which is the function of R, and then the function of Y1. I just say Y1 because I want to do something after this. Right. Now remember what we said is that this point here is the money market equilibrium, and then we have interest rate, which is here, determined from the equilibrium. And then when you draw the line that goes up, this is the South African interest rate. Remember that from lecture 1. And then if we draw the other line from the origin here, and that line goes up, and this will be the exchange rate. The top part will be the money market, will be the foreign exchange market. And when you draw the other line that goes this way, this will be the foreign return, which is interest rate in US plus e to the power e minus e divided by e. And then the exchange rate will be this E1. Now, what is happening here is that we are saying that now, because we want to come up with AA curve, we are going to increase the output. You see, like if there's equilibrium in the market this way, if you do not change anything, the equilibrium will remain. Now we start by changing output. We increase the output, and by increasing the output, what we see? We see now that the demand for money will shift up. This is L, which is the function of R1, R, and Y2 now, because now we increase the output from Y1 to Y2. But now, when you look at this new equilibrium here, you will notice that now the South African interest rate now has increased, which means now we see this line shifting to the right, and then we see the interest rate going this way, and then this is the new interest rate parity. And then this will be the exchange rate 2. So what happens now is that the rand has appreciated. That's what we are seeing. So let me reason it here very well so that we can see. We have increased the output, and then the real money demand increased, and then the South African interest rate went up, and then we've seen the rand appreciating. Now we have to draw this on a diagram. So when we draw this on a diagram, we start by drawing this and that, and this is the output, and this is the exchange rate. Remember, we started with this and that. So the first one we started with E1, that was the exchange rate, the first one, and then Y1. When we increased it, now the point was here. When we increased the output to Y2, remember what happened? The rand appreciated, and then we ended up at the point that was a little bit below, and then now we see that this will be your AA diagram. And now AA diagram means that all points on it, they means interest rate parity. So that once you are on this point, it means the return on foreign deposit and the return on South African deposits are equal. It doesn't matter really where you really deposit your money. You can deposit it anywhere where you want. and then it's up to you. Now, I'm going to talk about, like these factors, I'm going to just put them aside. I'm going to talk about the factors that will shift this AA to the right, and then I'm going to talk about the factors that will shift this AA to the left, and so on. But not now, in the next lecture. So, what does that mean? It means that for now, we are going to jump to the real sector. And when we speak about the real sector now here, we are going to be talking about what you already know. Remember, from your second year, we were saying that when we talk about the real sector always, we talked about the Keynesian 45-degree line. And this is what is happening. We're going to draw the Keynesian 45-degree line, output, and total expenditure. I'm just going to write total expenditure here so that I don't put E, because E now is for exchange rate. And then this is the 45-degree line. Remember, now this line is E equals to Y. And then this is the total expenditure line 1. And remember, total expenditure line is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. You must remember that. And then this is our equilibrium point. Now, what is happening now is that I'm going to redraw this output line, and then I'm going to draw the exchange rate line. Now, remember, the exchange rate is somewhere. That is why we are here. Now, the exchange rate, suppose, is here. It's E1. And then output is Y1. And this Y1 is Y1 here. So you can see that. So we have this point here. That is the initial point. That's what happens. Now, this is what is going to be the state of the economy. If you don't change anything in the economy, it will remain like that. But now, let's start by appreciating the rand. So, appreciation of the rand means that now the things are becoming expensive, especially the foreign goods. Now, your exports will go down, your imports will go up, and then it means your total expenditure line will go down. So, now, this means what? It means your net exports are going to decrease. And if the net exports are decreasing, now it means this total expenditure line here at Keynesian model is going to go down, shift to the left. And now we've got total expenditure 2. So, with this total expenditure 2 going this way now, we are saying that now the new equilibrium, you can see that is here, which is Y2 now. So now, and then Y2 will be this side. And then now we can bring this line down. And then remember, we started by decreasing the exchange rate, which means appreciating the rand. But now it seems that output also decreased. So therefore now we are sitting here with what? With a positive relationship. If you join these two lines, you will see that now you have DD line, which is the positive line. So this is the real sector. So what you are looking at now, you are looking at the real sector, and now you are looking at the DD line. And now, remember that when I spoke about AA curve, I was talking about interest rate parity. But now here, because I'm talking about the DD curve, I am speaking about the purchasing power parity. So therefore, it means what? Let me just finish reasoning this one here. We appreciated the rent, and then the net export went down, and then the total expenditure went down, and then the output went down. That is exactly what happened. So now what is going to happen is, now we're going to talk about the factors that will shift our DD curve to the right, and the factors that will shift the DD curve to the left. But we put the separate lecture for that. That will be the next lecture. But for now, let me just combine these two curves to come up with AA-DD model, so that you are able to understand what we were doing here. And then what is happening now is we've got our exchange rate on this line, and then we've got the output on this line, is the origin. Now remember, the line that goes this way is AA curve, and AA curve, now all the points on here, they mean interest rate parity. And then now you've got the one that goes this one, and then this is the DD curve, and then the one that is going this way is DD curve, and then all the points on here, they mean what? They mean the purchasing power parity. So therefore, you need to be able to know that all points on AA curve, they mean what? Interest rate parity. All points on DD curve, they mean what? Purchasing power parity. So what does that mean? This means that now DD curve is your real sector, AA curve is your monetary sector, or rather the financial sector. So now you only have one point here, and on this point, this is the equilibrium point. You will have E1, and then you will have Y1. So with E1 now, we know that, and Y1, E1 and Y1 now we know that both the monetary sector and the real sector are at equilibrium. So guys, I'm urging you now one more time to go home and study everything as we did, so that you are able to understand them, because they will become complicated as the time goes. And then I wish you all the best. I believe that this is not going to be as difficult as people really think. It's supposed to be very easy. Thank you very much.